Okay, so we're back at our special display, and now we want to sort the results. Now, you'll remember that some time ago we specified that we wanted to view our results sorted by status, well these are all active, and then by price. So basically this list is priced from the least expensive through to the most expensive, and you'll see that over here on the left they're numbered 10, 20, 30, etc. Now that means that they're going to print out in that order. So if this is the order you want them to print out in, your work here is actually done. You can go and print them or email them or do whatever you want. But let's say you want to have them in a different order. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 ways of sorting your results. And the first, and absolutely the easiest, is to use these column headers. So let's say, for example, you wanted to see all the properties in a certain area first. So if I click on area, you'll see that it shows me out of area, and then Pasadena Northeast, and then Pasadena Northwest, and so on. Notice that my numbers in the column on the left have gotten messed up. Okay, so if I wanted to keep them in this order, what I would actually have to do is uncheck this checkbox, recheck it, and now they're sorted in that order. So let's say that your client says, I'd like to see all the new listings first. So we click on DOM, and we'll start out with all the brand new listings. Notice again the numbers are messed up, so if we want to print them out in this order we have to uncheck and then recheck. You can do this for any column header, and since you chose the column headers you can very easily create a list that you can sort with one click. By the way, if you click it a second time you'll get all of the oldest listings down to the newest listings. So it's very much like Excel. If you've used Microsoft Excel, it will sort ascending, and then click again, it will sort descending. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is to manipulate the numbers on the left here. So let me just click on the DOM again, so I've got a nice neat 10, 20, okay, should have, no I clicked on the wrong button, there we go. Okay, so I've got 10, 20, 30, 40. So let's say that we look at this list and we say, oh gosh, this one on Mentor I want to show first. So I'm going to change that number 40 to the number 5. That means that it will appear before number 10 when I print them out. Let's say that I go to number 60 and say, oh gosh, I want to show that one before that. So I'm going to call that number 3. And this one I'm going to call number 7. And this one I'm going to call number 15. Now, if you were to print these out, they would actually print out 3, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20. But they're kind of messed up, aren't they? You can't really see what you're doing. You can't use the check and uncheck. So the way you would reorder these is by opening the option pane over here on the right and clicking on these 2 blue arrows. When you click on the 2 blue arrows, you'll see that they now come out 3, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, etc. You can do this ad infinitum, okay? So I could now look at this one and say, okay, number 90 I want to show first, number 120 I want to show second. Click on the 2 blue arrows and you'll see we've now got 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, eventually they'll get to a point where you're just confused. So now, once you've got them in the order you want, you can uncheck and recheck and you'll get the numbers all nice and neat. Okay, so you can use this very easily to manipulate the order in which you show them. Okay, so that was the second way. The first way was we clicked on the column header. Second way, we changed the numbers. The third way, notice that we have sorters selected over in the options pane checked. So the third way, and this is actually a more sort of real world thing, okay? So we've got 34 listings. Chances are we're not going to show our client 34 listings. We're going to pick the ones that work best. So to begin, we're going to uncheck everything, and then we're going to check them in the order in which we want to show them. So we'll go through and we'll say, okay, yes, I want to show that one, and then I'll show this one here and this one. And let's say that we're going to end up showing 10 listings, okay? And the order in which I check them is the order in which I'm going to show them. Okay, so you'll see up here it says I've got 34 listings found, 10 listings checked. They're all messed up, so we come over here to the blue arrows, and when I click on it, you'll see that it's now 10, 20, 30, 40, etc. Now, you have 2 choices to get rid of the ones you're not showing. My personal opinion is that hide all unchecked is better because it allows you to come back again and uncheck, unhide them if you want. You can remove them, personal preference. I'm going to hide. So you'll see I've still at the top here got 34 listings found. I've got 10 listings checked, and then the order that I want to show them to my client. Pretty good stuff, eh? So 3 different ways of sorting. Number 1, you can use the column headers. Number 2, you can manipulate the numbers. Number 3, you can sort them in the order that you want. So we're now ready to show these to our client. And there's basically a couple of different ways of doing this. The first is reports. Reports are things you're going to print out. So the 10 listings we had checked, we're going to print them out. Now notice that in the top left, it says you can select up to 4 reports to run. That is absolutely true. However, they will run together. So my advice, run your client reports separately from your agent reports. It's actually a violation of our rules to give agent reports to our clients. I'll show you in a second. It's actually kind of hard to do. But let's say that I want to have a map at the beginning. So I'm going to go to the map listings report first. And then I want client summary. So I'm going to run the 2 reports together. I click run report. And the first page of my report will be a map showing the 10 listings. And notice that they're all marked and where they are and what number refers to what. And when I scroll down, you'll see that I've got the client summary. Notice it says client summary. If I'd done the agent summary, it would say agent. And as I said, it's a violation of our rules to give agent reports to our clients. Notice that this is actually my granddaughter. And when we get to class 2, I'm going to show you how you can customize the photo that you show to the public. Since this is my training account, I tend to put sort of happy, fun pictures in here. Okay, so that was doing that. What we want to do now is go back to our search. And this time, instead of running a report, I want to email them. Well, it's very simple. I come over to email, I click on email, and it's going to say this is what you chose as your default. If you remember when we were looking at our setup, client summary with additional pictures. Do we want to include the pictures? Absolutely. And now when I click submit, it's going to ask me who do I want to send them to. So I'm going to put in an email address. Now notice, no, I don't want that email address. I want a different email address. Okay. Notice that I can very quickly change the subject. You remember I said that you should have a default. So let's say special listings from Chris Griffiths. Okay. And if I wanted to add a message in here, I could do it very easily. Let's say the quick brown fox. And we won't type the rest of it because it's painful to watch me type. Okay, so I'm going to click on send email. Now, what your client is going to receive is going to be an email that that basically has a link in it. Now, when your client receives that email, and let's come down here, and I should have, where's my, okay, don't you love live demonstrations? It's not in yet. There should be an email in here. There we go. So here is the email that I just sent. There we go. Okay, special listings from Chris Griffiths. You remember that's what I called it? And you see it says the quick brown fox. So down here in the body, there is a hyperlink. So when your client clicks on this hyperlink, it's going to take them to the listings that we sent them. And remember, we chose the one with the additional pictures. So they're basically going to get the information plus the pictures for each of those 10 listings. Okay. Now the reason I'm showing you this is that if we come back into the MLS, let's just close the options pane, we can go to admin, view sent email, and the system will show us that your client has read the email. This is a really, really useful feature. Okay, so if you send an email to a client, you can come here and you can very quickly see if they have read your email or not. Okay, very useful feature. Okay, so what we just did was something that we're going to do an awful lot. We ran our search, we sorted our search, selected the exact properties we wanted in the exact order we wanted, we printed them out and we emailed them. Really important stuff, something you can do a lot. Thank you.